From the heart of Hawkeye Nation comes the show that dissects the plays, debates the calls, and celebrates the victories. This isn't just a podcast. This is your unfiltered access to the mind of two diehard fans. They live and breathe black and gold, and they're here to give you the honest, raw takes you won't find anywhere else. Get ready for deep dive analysis, passionate debate, and a unique perspective on the team you love. This is Punting is Winning with JD and Keith.
Welcome back, Hawkeye sports fans, to another episode of Punting is Winning, your all Iowa podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Keith. He's JD. Welcome back. One more week in the books. Didn't go the way we wanted it, but that's the way it happens, I guess. Didn't get any favors along the way either.
Well, let's talk about last week's question of the week and this week's question.
Last week's question of the week was how you anticipate Iowa finishing the final three games, whether it be 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, 0-3. Had anywhere from 1-2 to 3-0. So clearly the 3-0 is not going to win this one out, but
that's definitely out.
Probably should have, but that's beside the point. New question of the week. We got.
The new question of the week is, should Iowa look for a portal quarterback or roll with one they already have on the roster and use that NIL money for other positions?
Okay.
Whatever they need.
I have my opinions on that, but
I think defensive back at this point would be good.
Yeah. Wide receiver might not be a bad place to go. A dynamic wide receiver. That's what we need.
There might be one on the roster. We don't know that.
Yeah, that's true. Dayton Howard could be that guy.
I'm just going to use his name. I was just going to say he's got he's got the height, he's got the speed, he's got the hands. I really don't understand, unless he's just running poor routes in practice, why he doesn't see the field more.
I think he saw quite a bit more time this last game.
But I think he should be a starter.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
I think, you're going to be losing Sam Phillips and Jacob Gill anyway. So, and Seth Anderson.
Yes,
Seth Anderson Sr.
Yeah.
So I think that the opportunity is right there for him.
Yep.
And I think Jarrett Bowie could have a really good opportunity too. Get some nice size out there because Bowie's 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
You get that with Vander Zee 6'4" and Dayton Howard 6'4" and. Throw in Terrence Smith, who is
KJ Parker's not as tall.
No, he could be a slot guy though.
Yeah.
I hate to pigeonhole somebody just because of their size, but it does seem to be kind of the spot maybe he would be able to excel in.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll have to wait and see. So let's talk a little bit about this game this past weekend. I don't want to dwell too much on it because I'll get my ire built back up. I know a lot of people will say that a lot of plays are on the field to make that you can't blame the officials for a loss, but I can sure put a lot of weight to the notion that they had a very heavy influence in that game.
Yeah, I can think of a couple of examples. One was the face mask. It was very obvious. Twisted his head around.
Two of them.
Two. Okay. Well, the one I was mentioning was the one with Mold.
Yeah.
The other was a late game holding that didn't get called. That should have been called, I believe, on it was a running play that should have been called a holding, and it wasn't. I think it was their quarterback took off and ran with it. And
I was thinking the one you were thinking of was the one where he rolled out to the right. And it was a holding that they should have called when Graves broke through, and then he throws it down the field and gets a pass interference instead.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. And you want to throw in the
hit on the
sidelines. That that's a legal play.
Yeah,
I don't know how that was ever legal.
Yeah.
3 steps out of bounds, and the guy accelerated to push him, but then he showed restraint. No, that's still a penalty. You hit him out of bounds.
Well, you talked about it last week that there was going to be some pretty weird things happen in the game because it seems like there is a conspiracy about who they want representing the Big Ten or if they're going to get 3 versus 4 teams in. Now,
I don't think it's so much about who represents the Big Ten. I think it's about getting the number of teams in and who has the best chance. So I think they looked at that and said, oh, hey, USC is a higher ranked team. They have one less loss. They probably have there's a chance that they're going to lose to Oregon. So maybe they still could get in with a 3-loss team if they raise high enough. Iowa's not going to get there. So let's make sure that USC has the opportunity. We got Michigan still on the horizon. If they could manage to if the Big Ten says, hey, well, we don't need an undefeated Ohio State going into a Big Ten championship. Let's have Michigan beat them and get Michigan in. That's another option they can have. But yeah, it's been this way for years. And I think the betting pool has a lot to do with it. The overall money that the conference can generate from having the next number of teams in the playoffs has a lot to do with it. And that takes that detracts a lot of confidence that I have in the sport being clean.
Yeah, there are just too many things that we see on a weekly basis, and not only in the Big Ten, but in a lot of the conferences that just they're head scratchers. They're things that it's hard to explain that somehow happen. Now, to me, there's going to be a lot more to this when you'll see a close game between Oregon and USC pulls it out.
Yeah.
You're going to see, because I think Oregon's a much better team, and it is in Oregon. Mm-hmm. So to me, I think that if Oregon decides to pull back, and I don't know if they don't try, that's not necessarily what I'm getting at, is if they just, if there's some weird things that happen in that game that favors USC, you're going to know right then and there that they're wanting USC to be that 4th team. Michigan, however, I don't see that happening. Your scenario, I think Michigan loses to Ohio State.
Yeah,
I think Bryce Underwood is not a very good player. I think he's young. He might be a better player later in his career. He's not there now, and I think Ohio State is just too good at this point. They have basically an NFL roster, and they're going to be going up against Michigan, who struggled to get by and had some pretty lucky calls to get through Northwestern.
Now, I do want to preface this by saying that I don't want to take anything away from the talent and the plays that the USC receivers made and the throws that Maivea made in that game, because they were well defended. I'm not saying that was a bad defended game. I mean, they just made plays. They have NFL quality receivers on that roster, and they have a quarterback that can get the ball to them where they can make the play. Now, I mean, that one play where Makai Lemon makes that long leap, stretched out and pulls it in. And I think we had him down about the 15, 16 yard lines, and they're out the midfield. Next thing you know, that you just got to tip your cap and say that's a heck of a play. So I don't want to take anything away from plays like that, but I mean, you don't review the Caden Weegan play on the sidelines, which
I think he was out.
Some people would say he's out. Some people, I've seen stills where it looks like he's in.
Yeah, those are doctored.
I mean, I personally, when I saw it on the replay, I thought there's some green between his toe and the line, but who knows? I
didn't see it that way. I saw his toe over the line, and that's how they saw it, and that's how I saw it. I guess I didn't really think that this was that was an egregious call. I thought that was the right call, even though I really wanted it to go the other way. Believe me. But I just had to look at that and say, yeah, he's over by that far. I mean, it was very, very little, but he was over.
But still, I mean, you throw in the fact that there was holdings that weren't called, that should have been called, that were very blatant. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's one thing to miss a hold within the line. That's one thing, but when it happens literally right in front of your face and it's on the screen, the other one that really kind of baffled my mind was Iowa had the ball down their own 15, 20-yard line, something like that. And we fumbled. And USC recovered it. And there was a flag. Well, the flag was for defensive holding. But then they called an offensive holding on 71. And I'm looking back at that replay, and I'm like, where? I mean, that is literally the definition of a picture perfect block. And I'm like, so there's like, you take the two face mask penalties, the late hit out of bounds, there's 45 yards worth of penalties right there that either killed a drive or just didn't allow it. Could we have gotten in field goal position? Could we have, instead of being up 21 to 13, would we have been up 24-13? And how much of a dynamic does that change the game when you get, they get 3, but then they get 3 back? Well, we didn't make up anything. And that was just, it was 10 minutes of time where nothing was gained. How much of a demoralizer is that? You never know. I don't know. But this was definitely a game where the outcome of the game was very heavily influenced by the calls that were or were not made on the field.
Well, problem is with this is that there's nothing we can do about it.
No,
there's nothing that Iowa can do about it. They can, petition the Big Ten and say, we've got this video to shows at this certain time that this shows something that was called that should have been called, or something that should have been called that wasn't called. You can send all that stuff to the Big Ten, field office, head office, or whatever, and have them look at it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't.
It's still a loss.
It's not going to do anything. They can issue apology. Wow. Okay. Apology. Yeah. I'll stack that up with all the other ones that we got. It still doesn't going to amount to anything.
Well, apology is one thing, but if they actually hold the officials responsible and don't allow them to play, don't allow them to officiate another game, that's hitting them in the pocketbook, maybe. The other one that kind of comes to mind now that I think about it was, did we ever get an explanation on the end of game unsportsmanlike conduct?
I've heard 2 different things. The Iowa response is that he stepped onto the field. Seth Wallace stepped onto the field, and
it could have been a sideline warning.
Well, and I think they'd already had a sideline warning. Maybe
according to that, I had never heard of anything of them ever getting one.
Anyway,
I don't ever remember them announcing one.
That was Iowa's explanation, but to me, I think the real explanation was that he went on a pretty profanity-laden tirade to a referee and got the flag. So that's what I think actually did happen.
Well, I mean, if you're going to throw a flag for him stepping onto the field, you probably should have thrown a flag on Lincoln Riley for jumping around and acting like a fool on the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I would go with the second explanation, the non-Iowa explanation, and say that he got a little bit upset about the way things were being called or not called, and decided to let his feelings be known to the referee in a not real nice manner. And I think that's what caused it. But at the end of the day, those 15 yards, would it have mattered? Probably not.
All it did was gave them the automatic first down. So
all I had to do is
instead of them having to run another play and then potentially punting to you with 5 or 6 seconds left, they were able to run out the clock.
Yeah. So
I mean, the odds are still stacked against you. That I guess if you've got Caden Weegen back there, all they'd have to do is just
punt it out of bounds
backwards or punt it out of bounds.
Yeah. Punt it high and out of bounds so that it takes all the clock away.
Or punt it through the end zone.
Here's the deal. One of the things that I think that we have just allowed as fans and of people who donate to happen way longer than we should is the absolute refusal to accept that the forward pass is part of the game for Iowa. We have not thrown the ball well since 2019, 18. We have got to start embracing throwing the football down the field instead of dunking and dinking and throwing to nowhere and dropping balls in front of receivers' legs on 3rd down and 8s when you could have the first down. All you had to do is get it to them. There is a lot of things that if Iowa could put more of an emphasis on throwing the ball in practice, in fall warmups, in spring games, throw the ball. What that's going to do is that's going to start loosening up the defense. You're going to be able to run the ball better. There are going to be days when running the ball seems like the best way to run, to get to play an offense, but you still have to throw the ball also. You cannot just sit there and throw the ball 8, 10, 12 times a game and complete 6 or 7 of them for 100 yards. Those days are gone. You can win games. Yes, we've done that. We've shown that we can do that. But when push comes to shove and you're playing the Illinois, the Oregons, the USCs, the Indianas of the world, just running it is not going to win games. We are 0-13 against anybody with a number in front of their name, and it's getting worse. If Nebraska would happen to win another couple games and be ranked in the top 25, expect to lose that game as well. Iowa will not win unless they start embracing the forward pass and start using it to their advantage. Why we are so scared to throw the ball is beyond me. There are 134 other teams in 133 other teams that can throw the ball. Why is this a foreign concept? Why can't we do this? Is it just
Army don't throw very well?
Well, Army, okay.
Yeah,
All right. Do we want to be Army though? I don't. Army has no chance ever of making the playoff. They just play their season out and go for a bowl game. They have no chance. I want a chance. I want my team that I'm a fan of to have an opportunity to play in the playoff. And the way they're moving right now, they're never going to see it. They are never going to see it because they cannot throw the ball and will not throw the ball.
Here's the thing. Is it the quarterback? Is it the receivers not getting open? Is it the scheme? Is it the routes? What is it? I don't know what it is. Are they throwing the ball in practice all over the place and then they get to the game, they just decide not to do it? Parents says, no, you're not doing that. We want to muddy the game up as much as we can and keep the score low because we give ourselves the best chance of winning. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. What are the if you look back at the Kirk Ferentz era, what are the years that you really enjoyed watching Iowa football? What are the years that Iowa had pretty good success? 2002, 2009, 2015. Was it 2002, 2004 maybe? What do we have what do all those have in common?
You can throw the bat.
Teams that could throw the ball. I mean, Ricky Stanzi, until he got hurt, he got hurt against Northwestern? They were
10th game of the year.
They were rolling.
Mm-hmm.
He got hurt. They had to bring in Vandenberg. Vandenberg hadn't thrown a ball a year, maybe, or just in a mop up. Those are the teams that when Iowa had a quarterback that could throw the ball accurately and had receivers that could catch the ball, that's when Iowa was really good. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't know if these guys that they keep bringing in and saying these are the best guys we can get have no ability to throw the ball. If that's the case, whose problem is that? Are we recruiting the wrong players? Are we offering the NIL to somebody that has no chance at all of throwing the ball because we can't embrace the forward pass? This has got to stop. We have got to move forward with a pass.
Here's what I want to know. And I've watched enough college football in my life that it always seems to be this way. Why is Iowa the only team when there's a scramble situation or there's a situation where flushed out of the pocket, whatever, everybody always has somebody wide open 10 yards down the field against us? Why is that? Why do we not have that? Why do we never have that? Do you ever see anybody wide open 10 yards down the field on a rollout or a quarterback having to get flushed out of the pocket, whatever? Do they not work back to the ball? I mean, every other team has guys that work back to the ball. Do we just, I'm going to stand here and hopefully maybe try to throw a ball to me? Is that what it is? I don't know.
Or I instantly think my quarterback's going to take off and run, so I need to turn around and start blocking. I mean, is that the case?
Is blocking so ingrained in their philosophy that that's what they think first? Their first thought is turn and block. Don't try to get open.
Right. You know why? Because Kirk Ferentz says to him every year, you are a wide receiver. You are responsible for blocking. You need to block. You
If you
have
can't
to
block,
learn
you
how to
can't
block.
play.
We won't put you on the field if you can't block. So it's like ingrained. I need to block, or I'm never going to see the field. Then they go out and the first thing they see is the quarterback running around the corner. Their first thought is block, 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 instead of trying to get open so he can throw you the ball.
I think, honestly, that has to be it. Because every other team in the country has people that can get open coming back to the ball. We don't.
No, I'm not advocating for these guys not knowing how to block. Don't get me wrong. That's an important part of the game.
No, I know what you're saying. It's just, it's that block first instinct is ingrained, and it's not get open. It's not work back and try to help your quarterback out on the, to be and maybe it's the fact that they've been told that their quarterback is well, if I'm flushed, he's going to run. Do not worry about looking down the field. Just run.
That just goes right back to my point. Run first, pass second or third.
If that's the case, then why don't even recruit a quarterback, just recruit a running back.
Exactly. We could run their wildcat every play. I mean, if we're not going to throw the ball.
Or run triple option. Hand it off to the fullback, run it yourself, or hand it off to the running back. That's your triple option.
The sad part of this whole thing is I think we've had quarterbacks that can throw the ball. I think we've had quarterbacks who are good throwing the ball. But it's just every time they get on the field at Iowa or in the practices at Iowa, they are told don't throw the ball to this certain player on this certain play. Don't do this, don't do that. It's in their head. They can't think about it themselves. They shouldn't be thinking about it. They should just react. And it's just like their passing has been coached out of them. Their ability to throw the ball has been coached out of them.
Is it that they're being coached to not make mistakes, so they're not going to throw it to make the mistake? And that's and even if there's that tightest of windows of, hey, I think I can make this throw to this guy. That guy, I can throw him open. But if I don't, am I going to get yelled at because that's the mistake that I would have made? I don't know. I really don't.
Well, there needs to be some really intense discussion in the off season about learning how to throw the ball and getting people in here that can throw the ball and allowing them to throw the ball. It's just so tight. These guys are so tight when they go out there. Mark threw the ball in the ground how many times in a day? 2 or 3 on very crucial third down plays. He threw one to somebody's feet in the flat, and that would have been an easy first down. Weegan. Yeah, that's exactly right. It was Weegan. And I think he threw one to Devoname that was also low earlier in the game.
That's the one thing I've noticed is he doesn't really throw high unless it's really high.
Yeah.
He's usually throwing
only
it
on 2-point conversions.
He's always throwing it at their feet. So is it completely mechanics then? Is it the fact that his knee is bad enough that he's not telling people how bad his knee is, that he can't, or his shoulder?
Yeah.
Did
that shoulder ever really heal the way it was supposed to after
Exactly.
surgery? We don't know that. Were we lied to about how well how much he, how good he was in the spring, how much he was progressing? It kept saying, oh, by June 1st, he'll be able to throw the ball. Everything's going great. Everything's going great. Were we lied to as a fan base? Was Kirk Ferentz lied to? Was he saying that he was better than he really was so that he could play the game? Here's another thing. Start this conversation in a different manner. Let's go back to, has Iowa's defense, have we relied on Iowa's defense too long and now all of a sudden it's breaking down? Think about it. Iowa State, late in the game, broke down. Iowa State kicks a field goal to beat us. Late in the game, we had the lead. Late in the game against Indiana, they scored on a long pass because Iowa played a wrong defense. Then you got Oregon. Again, late in the game, Iowa's up 16-15. They go down the field 80-some yards. They didn't have to go 80, but they went 60 with very little time left and scored. Then the same thing, 21-7 lead. Let's pull back and play to win, or play not to lose. Maybe would be better. And then all of a sudden now it's 26-21 and we're scrambling, trying to figure out what just happened. I think that we have relied on that defense to be elite for so long and to bail us out of things that our offense never could do, that now we are relying on them to do it again and they can't get it done.
And what was the deciding factor in that game against USC? Outside of obvious missed penalties that should have been called, the fact that the defense was on the field most of the second half.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean,
and I'm not saying that the offense in the second half, we just didn't have sustained drives in any way. We moved the ball some.
It's like we just pulled back and said, we have enough to win, and we've always won at 21 points. Let's just run the clock. It's raining. It's nasty. Let's get out of here. Hopefully the defense can hold them back and we can get a win, but we're going to leave them out on the field for virtually the entire second half because the offense can't do anything. And then you expect them to be elite and say, okay, you're going to have to win this for us because we don't have enough going on offense to give you guys 5 minutes of a break, because they're going to go out there, do 3 and out or 4 and out or whatever the case may be.
I'll put it in baseball terms here. It's like having an ace pitcher, but the ace can only go 7 innings. Then you have no bullpen. And you have an offense that can get you 1 run a game. And the best case I can tell you is Jacob deGrom when he was with the Mets. Elite pitcher, could go out there and could shut you down for 7 innings. Couldn't get a run sport on offense. And it had a lot of games that he lost because the relievers and the closer couldn't close it. That's the same thing that's happening here. They don't have a closer's mentality. They don't have that killer instinct to go out there and say, you know what? I've got a 21-7 lead. I'm not stepping back off of this. I'm going to continue to put this down on them. I can pull back a little bit. I don't necessarily have to throw the ball 100 times, but I'm still going to I'm still going to be versatile enough that I'm not just going to run the ball every single down. I mean, USC didn't know what to do when Iowa come out throwing the ball in the first quarter. They were lost. Then we went away from it.
Yeah, we just went completely away from it. We pulled back. And no more prime example was, and I didn't go back and watch the game a second time, so some of this stuff is a little fuzzy in my mind. But when we had 3 downs, and it was late in the game, I want to say in the fourth quarter, we had 3 downs that we ran the ball 3 straight times. We didn't even throw the ball. Remember that?
And then we threw it on 4th down, and that was the Weegan one on the sidelines.
Yeah, and I scratched my head thinking, why? I realize we're running the ball okay, but now all of a sudden we are at 3rd down and 8 because we tried 2 runs and we've gotten 2 yards.
Actually, the one you're thinking of, I think we were at 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 8. Yes. And we got 2 yards, made it 4th and 6. And there was about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. And I'm thinking, okay, kick the field goal. Make it 26-24.
Would have been a long
You've
field
still
goal.
got 3 timeouts. You've got the 2-minute timeout. If you can hold them and stop them, you've got an option. You got an opportunity to get enough yards to try to kick a game-winning field goal. But instead, you've got 4th down and 6, and instead of trying to get just the 6 to get the first down, you go for 20 on a sideline pattern that has very little room.
Very little success.
Yeah, so it's just like you totally outthought yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to run the ball, 3 straight times and down there, you're either going to kick the field goal or you're going to come up with something that's going to get you the 6 yards.
Yeah. Yeah. And they didn't, my thought was you either roll him out and let him have the option of run or pass to a tight end about 8 yards out. That's either floating across the middle or going back across where you throw it. They didn't do any of those things. They didn't do anything that I thought was a smart play. I think they tried to outsmart themselves. And Mark just looked at Weegan down the line and said to himself, when he took that snap, he thought to himself, I'm going to Weegan no matter what.
And the thing of it is he was open, but I think he waited a little too late and put a little too much air on it. Here's the thing, though. When was the last time we did like a bootleg pass to the tight end?
About the last time we did a double reverse pass to the quarterback in the end zone.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty. I will give them that.
Yeah, that was pretty. And see, right there is an example. That's something that USC has never seen on tape.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's seen it on tape. No one has ever seen that from Iowa on tape. So how are they going to prepare for that? That's what I'm talking about.
There
has to be some creativity in your offense to some degree. And Iowa is not creative. That was an oddity.
Where is the misdirection on the run plays?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw a counter?
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
How many times would you exploit a defense if you would just run a counter with you if you brought the tight end back to block on that backside defensive end that always seems to make the tackle on a zone running play because he's unblocked? Bring the tight end on the backside, have him block that, have that guy do just a little counter to the right and cut back to the left, and I guarantee that field's wide open because the entire defense will flow because you don't run anything that's backside.
You know, we are constantly being told by the coaching staff that this is such a intricate offense that it takes kids 2 and 3 years to fully understand the offense. When the reality of the situation is that offense is one page. How hard is that? Because if you look at the plays they run, you could put them all on one page. Yeah. The only oddity was that reverse touchdown pass to the quarterback from Vanderzee. And I guarantee you that was something that Kirk Ferentz probably didn't even know was happening.
No, I'm sure.
Or he would have put a stop to it.
Yeah. Well, let's move on from this.
No, I want to continue with this just for a second because I want to get off my chest. All of those people that think that Kirk Ferentz is going to be fired or is going to, if Iowa loses the rest of the games of the season, they lose to Michigan State at home on senior day, they go out and they lay an egg against Nebraska and get beat at the end of the game, and Iowa ends up 6-6. And all those people that say Iowa is going to have to fire him, it's not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. For one, there's more than one reason, but here's one. Beth Getz is not going to fire the winningest coach in Big Ten history. She's not going to do it. She would have to make, if she did that, and I know she's not going to, she is going to have to pull the greatest hire in the history of the NCAA in any sport ever. Because that next guy is going to have to be, he's going to have to be Kurt Signetti 2.0. End of story. She's not going to do it. 2, it's going to cost too much money to buy him out of his contract. 3, Kirk Ferentz loves this game and he will stay there as long as he possibly can. In fact, I expect Kirk Ferentz, once he retires, to still have his hands in it somehow. 4, I can't remember what 4 is, but I had it written down somewhere else. But 4 is, it's just not going to happen. How's that? This is not, you're going to have to wait him out. He's going to have to retire, or they're just going to have to say, we're not going to renew your contract after 2029. That's the only way that's going to happen. And he's going to have some pretty bad years.
Here's the thing, as a fan, if you don't like that, you might want to start rooting for somebody else for the next few years. I mean,
and that's certainly, this is America. You can still root for whoever you want to. And, I'm sitting here thinking, I love my Hawkeyes. I always have, I always will. But I'm looking at other teams and saying, I think I'm going to not jump on their bandwagon, but I'm going to start thinking about watching them on a consistent basis and start kind of rooting for them a little bit. Indiana. I'm rooting for Indiana to beat Ohio State in the championship game. I'm rooting for Indiana to win every game possible in the playoff. I'm not saying they're going to win the playoff, and win the national championship, but that just happens to be a team that I think this is a team that Iowa should try to mimic themselves. And I know this is weird to say, all you Iowa fans that look at that and say, Indiana, why would we ever want to look like Indiana?
Well, Indiana's
got the last 2 years, I'd say. There's
Indiana's big thing is that they got the bag to back up what they want.
Well,
and that's the one thing that a lot of teams don't have.
I guarantee you, if Iowa would go out and win 10, 12 games a year, 10 or 11 games a year and make the playoff, that money will be there. That money will be there. They will cough up that cash because they will be so excited and so ingrained into that program and that team. Their wallets will fly open to support the team.
The hard part is getting to that level, because even look, jumping up to basketball. we're still not seeing we're seeing an increase in attendance for the men's games, but we're not seeing an increase like I'd expect with the excitement that's supposed to be around that team
I
and around that
agree.
hire.
I agree. But you also got to remember, we are still playing football at this point, and Iowa is a football school, even though they still have a good basketball program. They're
But the
still a
women
football
sell
school.
out.
The women do sell out, but you know why the women sell out? Because they've been good traditionally over the last 3 to 5 years. That's why.
But that's what I'm saying is you can't say, well, you know, football's still going on, so that's why you're not getting a lot of people going to the men's games, because they're still going to the women's games. So my point being is it's going to take time. You know, I get it. It's going to take some time for the attitudes to change from the Fran fade, you know, but I kind of expected a little bit more at this point. The crowds have been kind of meh when it comes to the guys' games. I mean, yeah, they had what? I reported 11,000 against Xavier. I'm not sure that's reported. That's maybe tickets sold, but not attendance wise. I don't know. I guess I expected the excitement around him and around the team, and you know, something new that you'd have a lot more. It'd be hard to get a seat. Would be, I guess, is where I was thinking.
I think part of this too.
Maybe that'll be that way.
I think part of this too is the people don't know the team like they used to know the team. They don't know the players that well. They're all brand new except for Cooper Koch and Jacob Cook. They're all brand new. So they've got to start figuring these guys out and learning their names, learning what they're good at. You know, Chavian Banks is good at rebounding and dunking, and you know, that's what he's there for. Manyao, same thing, rebounding, getting a breakaway dunk. You know, these are all things that we're still learning about this team. And even McCullum's learning about this team yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not making excuses. Absolutely, people should be going to the games. No question about it. I would always say that they should be going to the games. I live 140 some miles away from. I can't just drive to Iowa City on a Tuesday night. And have an 8 o'clock game start. It's just
you'd have a better option than a lot of people because you're retired. But
well, yeah, but
what you're saying.
I also have responsibilities here.
I get it.
Dogs at home that can't be left more than 5 hours without somebody coming and letting them out. That's just,
I don't get off work till 5. So me getting to Iowa City in time would not be easy.
But if I'm living in Iowa City, if I'm living in Cedar Rapids, if I'm living anywhere in about a 60 to 65 mile radius of Iowa City, I'm absolutely going to have season tickets to the basketball games. I will. I absolutely would. I'd buy them. And I'd go to the games.
Let's jump back to football. Let's catch a little bit on the upcoming Michigan State game, and then we'll come to basketball.
Michigan State is a home game. It's senior day for Iowa. It's a 2:30 start on FS1. So people should be able to, anybody that has streaming services and DirecTV and whatever other cable sources that they have should have FS1. It's pretty common. There shouldn't be anybody, that has a sports mentality that would not have FS1, I would think, at this point. So you should be able to watch that game. You should be able to root the Hawkeyes on. Hopefully they get the win. Michigan State has not won a conference game this year. They're 3-7. They're kind of having a coaching dilemma on whether they want to continue with who they have or whether they want to move on to somebody else. I did see James Franklin got a head coaching job. He's going to be going to Virginia Tech. I don't know if you knew that or saw that or not.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. So, I don't know what to think. I know Michigan State put it to Iowa last year, kind of unexpectedly. I just hope that doesn't carry on. I hope Iowa doesn't go into the doldrums, and because they really don't have a lot to play for other than a bowl game that most of the people will probably opt out of, even on the other side. So you're only going to see a shell of the teams that actually play in the bowl game. I'm not saying don't watch it, because I probably will watch it. The only caveat to that is I will not watch it if it's against Kentucky, Tennessee, or Oklahoma. I probably won't watch those because I am so sick and tired of watching Tennessee and Kentucky play Iowa. I don't want to see it anymore. Yeah. Anybody that goes out and says, I want this, that, and the other, or the people that make the decision to put teams in, you're gonna have a harder time getting people from Iowa to watch the games when it's. And I say that now. I probably will watch. I say that now, but I'm sick and tired of Kentucky. I'm sick and tired of Tennessee. I don't want to play them. I want to play somebody out of the Big 12. Let's play Arizona State.
K-State.
Let's play Arizona State. Let's play Kansas. Let's play whoever. Oklahoma or Utah. Oklahoma State won't make it, but Utah. I'd play
Kansas
Utah.
State,
I'd love to play Utah. That'd be awesome. Let's play Utah. Let's play Georgia Tech. Let's play Virginia Tech. Let's play somebody else other than an SEC.
Virginia.
I am tired of the SEC. I don't want to play them. Not that I don't think we can't beat them. I'm just tired of it. That's all. All.
Well, I'm tired of dealing with their fans too and their arrogance.
It's fatigue.
But anyway.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've ranted enough. I've got a headache.
Yeah, me too. Let's talk a little basketball and then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
Men had a rather easy time against Xavier over the weekend on Friday.
You predicted it. I know
you did. That. I just had not, based on the quality of competition that I'd seen that Xavier had played and how badly they looked to get in that team. Lemoyne. Have you ever heard of Lemoyne College?
Yeah.
And you win by 5.
Well,
you're not very good.
The night we did the podcast last Monday at around the 5:00 Central time zone. They had not played Santa Clara yet. And they played Santa Clara either later that night or the next night. And when I saw them play Santa Clara and they got beat by 19, I thought to myself, man, what's going on here? This team is not what I thought they would be. I thought they would be somewhat decent in the Big East. I thought you have to be decent in the Big East because there's some pretty good basketball schools in the Big East. I thought you're going to have to be decent. Whew. They got problems. They're going to have problems.
You know who plays for that Santa Clara team, don't you? Chris Taggio.
Oh, he does. I saw that Seydou Traore is playing for Utah.
Yeah, and we have there's a chance we could play Utah coming up.
I'd be fine with it.
I think it's one of those round robin tournaments or whatever. We'll either play Grand Canyon or Utah. I don't remember which one. It'll depend on the results of the other games, but we could end up playing Seydou Traore.
Yeah.
I've been kind of keeping an eye on some of those guys that
Freeman and Dix over at Creighton.
I don't pay attention to them because I don't care about them. But guys like Riley Mulvey and Traore and Taggio and Carter Kingsbury, those guys I still keep an eye on. I don't care about Price Sanford. He was you're jumped to another Big Ten school, and that sucks. But those guys that weren't the high-end dollar getters, those are the ones that I'm interested in and kind of keeping an eye on them. So it's kind of fun. I mean, they're okay. It's not like they're lighting the world on fire. Riley Mulvey's not doing a ton at Siena, and I think Carter Kingsbury's averaging like 4.5 at the Citadel. And Taggio, I don't know that he's played much more than one game for Santa Clara. Obviously, Traore is doing very well at Utah. I think he had one game where he had like 28 points.
Yeah. First game, I think.
So, good for them. And the other one, Harding at TCU, he actually was the leading scorer against Michigan.
Really?
He had like 16 or 18 points against Michigan.
They had an opportunity to win that and kind of lost it at the end. But Michigan's a good squad. Michigan women's a good squad. Right now they're probably the most impressive, the ones I've seen.
So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the Xavier game. I don't know your thoughts.
I liked that Iowa led by 16 at the half, so they could kind of cruise at the end, and they went by 19. But led in scoring again by Bennett Sturts, which is every game so far they have been led in scoring by Bennett Sturts. He also had 21 points but 8 rebounds, so that was pretty good from your point guard. Iowa's led in rebounding by Cam Anya with 9. Iowa led in assists by Cale Combs, believe it or not. He only had 4, but that was enough to lead the team. 57% field goal shooting to Xavier's 39%. Here's the problem. Iowa's three-point shooting.
Oh, yeah, that was not good.
27% against Xavier. Xavier was only 24.
24.
24.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can get away with it then.
Free throws, Iowa was averaging, they shot 74%, which is 3 out of every 4, basically. Xavier is only 57%. So Xavier's got some issues with shooting.
Yeah.
One of the things that has been really good, though, is Iowa rebounding. They out-rebounded Xavier almost by double, 40-23. Then Iowa had 16 assists to Xavier's 9. Iowa did have 13 turnovers to Xavier's only 12 turnovers. So they got to get that kind of figured out. But here's what I thought about that game. Early on in that game, when Iowa brought, because I think Isaiah Howard had like 4 touches and 3 turnovers right away. They took him out and brought in Tate Sage. And I thought Tate Sage really, really had a very, very influential 2 minutes, 3 minutes that he was in. He was everywhere on the court. He scored points. He rebounded. He dished. He did everything that he could do as a freshman. And I am really excited about him and his progress going forward. Now, he didn't play a lot the rest of the game, or if he did, he didn't do much. But when they needed him right early to get things kind of moving, get everybody kind of calmed down, he stepped in, did a great job.
I think he ended up with 8 points, didn't he?
He did end up with 8 points. Yeah. Yeah.
The one that actually impressed
me. Most
of
them were right there in that little blurb that he was in. He had like 6 out of his 8, or it was 4 right in a row or something.
I think the guy that's probably impressed me the most is Trevin Urok.
Yeah.
And not so much from the standpoint of, him scoring, whatever. He doesn't look like he doesn't belong. He looks like he belongs. For a freshman, that's hard to do.
When we got him, I thought to myself, that's going to be kind of a developmental player. He probably won't play a lot the first year. He's going to learn the speed of the game. Just don't expect a lot out of him. And wow, was I wrong?
Works really good.
He is much better than I expected him to be at this stage of the season. Really good. Somebody else I thought is a very good presence on the court and a very calm demeanor, and that's Alvaro Figueras. I thought he really has a calming effect on that. You get him the ball, he doesn't make mistakes, he doesn't turn the ball over, shoots the ball nice. He's just he's a really dependable little player. I mean, not little, but he's a dependable player. You can throw him the ball, he's going to make things happen in a positive manner. And that's exactly the kind of thing that they need early in the season is guys to step up that you don't expect.
Yeah. And it kind of sounds like his demeanor, he's kind of a high-strung guy, and I think that's why they have to bring him off the bench, is let him kind of just acclimate to the game watching, and then bring him in, and he seems to be more within himself. And if you've recognized that as a coach, that's coaching right there.
Yeah.
You can recognize that right away and say, hey, I know this guy's gonna suit me better. I know he's got starter talent, but I know that he comes in 3 minutes into the game and he's going to be better off for it. That's fantastic coaching right there.
When I watch him play, I just don't see a guy that gets rattled. He just doesn't seem like he ever panics. He's always calm. I think that is the effect that he needs to have on some of the other players when they get into positions where they're not comfortable, and he has a calming effect on them, and they stay, they keep from freaking out or panicking in a position, where they're either trapped or they have to make a play. He's kind of has a weird calming effect on the team. Him and Bennett Skirts.
If I had one thing that if I wanted to say one bad thing about this team, is I think sometimes they may pass a little too much. And instead of taking an open shot, they want to make the extra pass. And maybe that's just a simple fact. Right now you look at it, I saw it the other day, was there 362 teams in Division I, and they are 358th in pace of play.
And
which seems weird.
It does seem weird because it feels like they're playing with a fairly decent pace.
But here's the thing, and I think this is what's lost on it, is they're playing with a slower pace, but they're efficient with that slower pace. So because you think slower pace, these guys be lucky to score 55 points, and they're scoring 70, 75, 80 a game.
Yeah.
but it's because they're efficient in what they do. And I think that's one thing that, Iowa in the past had been frantic pace of play, and it was less about, I guess, I hate to say it, the quality of shot is the quantity of shots.
Yeah.
If I can put up 100 shots and I can shoot 50%, I'm going to average 100 points. Now you're looking at, hey, if I can put up 60 shots and I shoot 65%, I'm still going to average 75, 80 points a game.
Yeah.
So, that's the one thing
it might seem like it might be a slow pace of play when you look at it from a NCAA ranking, but it doesn't seem like it. It doesn't feel like it when you're watching them. They're moving the ball back and forth. They might run it down, the clock down to the 8, 9, 7, 6, 5, whatever seconds before they shoot, but they're just constantly moving that ball around. So it's fun to watch. It's not a situation where, it just stays in the corner and never gets moved out of the corner.
Yeah. I think that I want to preface it by saying it's a slow pace of play, but it's not lick lighter ball.
Yeah. 100%.
That was basically dribble the ball at the top of the key for 15, 20 seconds and then try to move into the offense in the last 8 or 9 seconds to try to get something. That was not fun.
Why is my camera not focusing?
I was going to say, speaking of fun teams to watch, let's talk a little bit about the girls' team. Or the women's team. I shouldn't call them the girls' team.
There we go.
Women's team.
Yeah.
That was a fun team to watch.
Yeah. Oh, I was wanting to say about the men's team. They play a game again Tuesday night, tomorrow night, against Southeast Missouri State. It is they are 1-3, and that is a 7:30 start on BTN. So anybody that wants to watch. Also, then they play again on Thursday versus Chicago State. These are both home games for Iowa. And it's a 6 o'clock, and that's a BTN plus. Yeah. Iowa is receiving votes, but has not cracked the top 25 as of yet.
And has not made the John Rothstein top 45 either.
Oh, really?
No.
Wow. How hard is that to make, apparently?
I guess.
Man, can't even.
I know Jay Billis doesn't even have him in the field of 68 as the 68 best teams.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, when they start playing good teams, don't get me wrong. I don't think Xavier's terrible, but by the same token, I don't think they're as good as we thought they would be. Well, we'll have opportunity coming up.
Yeah. Well, speaking of ranked teams, let's talk the women's team now. They did move up to 19th.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm.
Coming off of a 2-0 weekend.
In-state.
I guess. In-state week, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute boat racing of Drake.
Yeah, well.
That was about as thorough of a butt whooping as I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah.
The game yesterday was a little sloppy.
Yeah. But it was also the first road game.
And it was by design because Northern Iowa did slow the pace and they did run the clock and try to basically make Iowa play a half-court game.
No offense to UNI, but they are not a good team.
No.
They are not good at all. In fact, I think Drake beats UNI both times they play them this year. If I had to put my money on, I'd put my money on Drake.
Which is weird to say because we beat Drake by 40 and we beat UNI by 30.
Yeah.
But I would agree. Drake is a much better team than UNI.
Yeah. I think Drake has more of a upside. I think UNI is not going to be any better than what they are right now. By the end of the season, they're not going to be any better than they are right now. I don't see any more.
They don't have shooters.
No,
they don't have, they turn the ball over too much. Yeah. They are just they're
not good at free throws.
They look young. They look very young.
They look discombobulated like they've never played with each other before. I mean, some of these people, I guess, to be honest, maybe some of these, they just bring these players together and they don't have a chance to long-term play together where they learn everybody's little nuance of what they do. And that can be hard to overcome, at least for the first several games. Maybe they'll get better. I don't know. I'm hesitant to say that they will. I just don't think UNI is going to have a good squad. I think Tanya Warren is going to struggle this year with her team.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Iowa is going to get a big eye-opening test here next week this week, I guess, against number 7 Baylor.
Yeah, they got 7 Baylor, and then they turn around. That's on Thursday.
And then they play Miami?
And then they play Miami on Saturday.
Which
Now,
I don't think Miami's as good a team. I mean,
no, they're not rated or anything, but they are undefeated still.
but it is a Power 4 school.
Yeah. So Thursday, it's an ESPN2 8:00 start against number 7 Baylor. It is I believe it's a tournament of some sort down in Kissimmee, Florida. So, I mean, it's going to be a road game for both, even though one team will be designated a home team. And then same thing down at Miami will be playing also at Kissimmee, and that'll be at 7:00 on Saturday, but that's ESPN Plus. Now, one of the things Iowa is going to have to do, and they have not done it well this year, is they're going to have to shoot free throws better. They have not shot free throws well this year. Especially when you get in crunch time, when it's crucial to how, win or lose, you're right there. You're going to need those free throws, and they're not shooting them that great. Turnovers.
It's the bigs. The bigs are the ones that are struggling.
Layla's not shooting the ball.
They're getting to the line too.
Yeah, Layla's not shooting the free throws great. She was like 50% the other day, or 48% or something, was not good. But the thing of it is, their turnovers a little bit high also. But I think a lot of that
has this year as they were last year.
No, but they're still a little high. But I think part of the reason why is because towards the end of games, when they're up by a large amount, that they're putting in guys that are off the bench, especially way down on the bench. And I think some of your turnovers are coming from stuff like that, when your starters are out and your bench players are playing. It's a natural tendency to be a little less careful with the ball, and it's just that's why they don't.
A lot of time, so not as crisp.
No, and that's part of that too is the reason why they there's a reason why they don't start. So, but we talk about Iowa's women's basketball team, and to me, the most impressive player that I've seen so far is Chit Chat. She is so dynamic for a little 5'4" player. I am so impressed with her. I thought when we got her, okay, well, that's just another point guard. It's going to help, but it's not going to be anything major. You know what? She is really good. And anybody that hasn't watched the women's game yet, you need to watch Chit Chat, right? She is very, very impressive. She shoots the 3 ball extremely well. She is a little dynamo. She rebounds. She takes charges. She's a good little player. I think Ava Hayden's a good player. She's really improved from last year. And when she gets the ball underneath, it's a pretty good chance it's going in. She's very dynamic. She's kind of reminds you a little bit of Sanano when she got the ball down low. It's pretty much 2 points, especially when they get her the ball on the right, when she's making that turn and she can make that, she's just automatic under the basket. I think Layla Hayes from week to week has gotten better and better. In fact, I think she led Iowa in scoring in one of the games. It was mostly.
Oh, no, not yesterday.
It was before Drake.
Drake.
It was the team they played right before, but it's after Southern. Evansville. Yep, Evansville. So, you're seeing those two players, both, I think, is it Layla Hayes 6'5" and Ava 6'4"?
Yes.
I don't know. There's right there as far as heights. I think you can pretty much interchange them both. I mean, obviously there'll be a little bit of a drop off with Layla because she's a freshman, but I think she's one of them that's just going to step right in, and you're not going to lose a whole lot if Ava goes out with foul trouble or something similar to that. I think she just steps right back in there, and she's got to work on her free throws, get a little better at the free throw line. Cause if she's going to shoot 50% or less, they're going to start hammering her so that she doesn't get the too easy, and they're going to make her earn at the line. So you got to start learning. You got to start making more free throws, being a little better at free throw shooting. Other than that,
a couple of things on that. There was a point in time in yesterday's game that they did have Ava Hayden and Layla Hayes in on the court at the same time.
I must have missed that because that was something I was actually wanting to see.
Yeah, there was a stretch there in the second half. I don't remember if it was late in the third quarter. They were both on the court at the same time. Which I obviously, one of them was taking Hannah's spot. The other person, the other girl that I think has really calmed down and started to take a step forward is Addie Deal.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to say Emily Rodriguez, but yeah.
Well, she's just been solid. Period. Journey Houston, solid.
Oh, absolutely.
I
I'm
mean,
excited.
there's a lot of talent on that team. They got a
You know,
really good. I was looking at the schedule today, and I was like,
yeah.
If they play up to their potential and the breaks go their way, there's 29 games in a regular season for them. That's a 24-5 team.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be a very, very big determining marker coming up on how well they are, how well they're doing. And they do have to play. I believe it's on December 20th. That's my memory thinking. They have to play UConn.
Yeah.
So number one, UConn, last year's national champion.
Who
Number
just
one,
absolutely throttled Ohio State.
yeah. So that's going to be a measuring stick on how well you're doing.
Well,
there's also one coming up Thursday night that's going to be a measuring stick on how you're doing. Baylor.
You got an Iowa State game.
You got Iowa State coming up. Yeah, there's going to be some really good games coming up that you really need to. That's going to be. It's going to help Iowa figure out where they're at and probably help them with their identity a little bit. I think they're okay right there with that, but I think it's going to be a situation where they're going to figure out after those games where they're weak and what they need to work on. That those games have a tendency to expose your weaknesses.
And I think a couple of those games, I think the depth is going to be a huge, huge factor in it too.
Mm-hmm. Well,
there's a certain team up north of where I'm at that if you can throw two bigs at a certain person, you can wear her out pretty quick. Now, she's still going to get some points, but run her to death. Get her off the court.
My only concern with how they handle her is how ticky-tack the referees are going to be when it comes to her turning and trying to shoot the ball and Iowa playing defense on her. I just feel like there is already I don't want to say a predetermined. There is a precedent set on her that she's going to draw a lot of fouls. And so, it's just going to be a situation where every time she turns to the basket, if Iowa's there playing defense, there's a chance they're going to call a foul on Iowa. And I feel like that shouldn't be how it is, but I just kind of have a feeling, especially when you're playing in Ames.
Yep. I completely agree.
I'm not making predetermined excuses or whatever, but I just have a feeling.
Counting the reality of what's to come.
Yeah.
We're old enough that we've seen it before.
But
players get a beneficial whistle.
I think Iowa matches up decent with them. So I don't know what they have for schedule coming up, but in my opinion, unless they play somebody really super good, Iowa will be the best team that they've played up at this part of the season. And like I said, I haven't looked at their schedule. I haven't looked that far ahead to see what Iowa State does because I usually don't watch, but Iowa may be the best team they play until conference.
Well, and I think Iowa will be more tested at that point too, because they'll have had tougher games. You'll have the Baylor game, you'll have the Miami game, which is Miami quality of Iowa State? No, but still a Power 4 team. I don't know that Iowa State has Power 4 teams on their schedule right now. I haven't looked at their schedule very closely.
I don't know who they played yesterday or whatever, but it was like Norfolk State or somebody that was not good. I mean, of course, Iowa hasn't exactly played, anybody great either. Evansville, horrible team. UNI, not good. Drake.
So Iowa State has played St. Thomas of Minnesota, Southern, and Iowa actually beat Southern by more. Sacred Heart, Valparaiso, Norfolk State. Then they've got Drake. Then they have Maryhurst. Or not Mercyhurst, not Maryhurst.
Well, they're better.
Then they're at Marquette.
Okay, well.
Then they have Northern Illinois. Then they have Iowa.
Okay, yeah. Iowa will be the best team they played. They will play until conference season at least starts.
That's the best team that they'll play until January.
So they're probably got this one circled and Super Bowl written right across the top of it. And
I'm sure.
That's a poke at Iowa State.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the mentality rubs off on them that they come out wearing black and white.
That wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. And then playing back in black when they come out onto the field.
Yeah.
Just, we want to be like Iowa so much. Okay.
Don't get me started on them.
Get to the national championship game twice in 2 years. Then you can.
Yeah. Get to the national championship ever.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Just gonna wrap it up and hopefully have a lot more good times to talk about next week instead of
people need to comment. We're not getting very many comments. It's hard for me to look at the no comments underneath of it, of the YouTube here, and because I want to be able to react off of comments and then use those comments in the next podcast to either address issues, address things that people are questioning, but we're not getting enough comments to even, there needs to be more comments, just more comments. I don't care if you got to put 7 comments down, but put comments down and the video.
Yeah. It's more likely that you're going to get him to respond back to you than me, as I work so much that I don't even have a chance to go back and look. I have to ask him every time we record if anybody ever responded to anything. So
he does. He doesn't.
I just don't have time. I don't watch the episodes either. No, can't do that. But anyway, well, we do appreciate you watching today. I think we did pick up an extra subscriber this week because we're at 76 now. I noticed that today just because I was looking to see what episode we were on, so I could title this one
13.
Yep, lucky 13. So anyway, let's wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Give us a subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Like the video, comment, and check us out on our social medias as well that we're out on right now. TikTok's the only one I'm not out on because I just can't figure out how to get my shorts to work yet.
If you have us on Facebook, we always put the question of the week on Facebook. Yep. A lot of people will answer that question on Facebook rather than answering it on the YouTube comments section. So we appreciate that too.
Yep. And as always, if you want to help represent the show or whatever, there's t-shirts, blankets, cups, mugs, all that stuff. If you click on that QR code at the beginning of the video, that'll take you right to the shop. And we'd love to have somebody representing us out there. So appreciate it. With that, we'll wrap it up. We'll get out of here and we'll go give a go Hawks and see you next week.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.